Yesterday, I gave my husband a shopping list, and on there I asked him to get some beans, and he came back with some beans, and incredible, they were rotten, mouldy, so from Waitrose. And I tweeted about this, and the tweet's gone crazy. In 24 hours it's approaching 1 million views, and it's stirred up quite a debate. But I just thought I'd talk about, why is this happening? Why have we got lower quality produce on our shelves? I mean, firstly, I will say, if I'd been shopping, I probably would have noticed that the beans were mouldy. But my husband is somebody that A, doesn't go shopping with his reading glasses, and B, he doesn't really look. He'll just say, beans, put them in the trolley. So he didn't notice. But Waitrose never really used to have rotten produce for sale. And why is this happening? Well, I'll tell you why, is because food, and I've been saying it for a long time, for a while, food is coming in from further away. Less food is being produced in Britain, less food is coming in from Europe, because it's too much of a faff for them to send it over here. And so it's coming from places like Morocco. And so it means that our foods are substandard. It's as simple as that. And we're paying more for them. They're expensive too. So right now, you're better off buying a cabbage, a Savoy cabbage, but I will tell you that less farmers are producing cabbages because they're being incentivised to go into environmental schemes which are less risk, because the government are not helping us deal with these high input costs. So it's bad news for British food.
It's market day in Melton Mowbray, but despite the auctioneer's best efforts, the bidding is proving sluggish. For the farmers, disappointment and dark talk of a recent free trade deal signed with New Zealand.
The lamb has been coming over from New Zealand by the ton, tons and tons of it. And unfortunately, the last 2 weeks, the trade in the local markets has just been hit by a rock. We're probably £15-20 per lamb down.
The deal will see kiwi meat imported without tariffs, and farmers in the UK say they get nothing in return.
A world away from rejoicing Kiwi farmers, their welly-wearing counterparts feel as though they are the sacrificial lambs of the free trade deal.
We're not competing on a level playing field.
The UK's less intensive approach to farming means their offerings could quickly be outpriced and outstocked by New Zealand's once tariffs are removed.
For a lot of people, it is all about price. So when you are at the shelf and you've got one leg at this price, one leg at another price, people have got to make those decisions.
The freshly inked FTA will see the quota of tariff-free lamb exported to the UK increase sharply over the next 15 years. And after that, it's a complete free-for-all.
I think the main message is the fear of...
It's the kind of trade deal Britain's government sold as a potential benefit of Brexit, freeing the country from the shackles of the European Union. Most of the farmers here tell us they still support the UK's withdrawal, that business on the whole has held up well. Some, off-camera, say they regret their vote, missing EU subsidies and easier access to the European single market. A few steps away, Stephen Nightingale is less shy. Promised Brexit freedoms, he says, just haven't come to pass.
I voted to leave, and I must say I've sort of wavered a bit, really. I think if I knew what I know now, I'd have probably voted to stay in, really.
This area has long been famous for its pork pies. These days it's also known as one of the most staunchly pro-Brexit places in the UK. But there are growing signs here and nationally that sentiment is shifting. One survey this month suggests nearly 2/3 of Britons support a second referendum in the coming years on rejoining the EU. Another, that 1 in 3 supporters of the Conservative government voted in on its slogan, "Get Brexit Done," believe Brexit has caused more problems than it's solved. Local brewer Conby Crine was always sceptical about Brexit. 10% of his exports used to go to Ireland, but now costs for his retail customers there have doubled, and exports to the continent have also dried up.
Right now, where we might ship, 10,000 or 20,000 beers at a time into Europe, the paperwork, the fixed costs are really making our beers uncompetitive.
But even if Brexit regret is starting to trend higher, neither the government nor the main opposition Labour Party is going anywhere near the political risk of a second referendum.
Once you appreciate that Brexit has ensured that even within the United Kingdom, English farmers are worse off because the devolved nations have continued with food subsidies and English farmers have been forced into environmental schemes or no schemes at all and having to intensify their production. Then when you mix in the European farmers who do not have the trade barriers that we have, who also are subsidised and have freedom of movement, so they're not facing the labour problems that we are, and they're not facing the bad trade deals that we have, which are only going to get worse every year, then you understand why Brexit is so bad for food and farming.